Hi class, so I figured I am at the point of the semester where I am really done with writing responses, so figured I'd take advantage of a screencast to reply to the discussion post for this week about gamification in the classroom. I think that there's a couple really interesting points to be made about using games in your classroom, and as Dr. Kotlik shows with using things like badges as a reward for students who accomplish certain activities or goals within the classroom. So I really like this idea and think that it's something that you can easily incorporate into a classroom, and you can, depending on how involved you want the games to get, you can adjust it to, how involved you want it to be and what works best, of course, for your students in the class. But one thing that I thought about when we were going over this topic about using games and different types of reward systems in the classroom is a TED Talk that I had seen a couple years ago, looking at games and how games can save the world, which is kind of a strange topic. I had mentioned this video in one of our previous discussion posts, but I'm going to bring it up here. So the TED Talk is from Jane McGonigal, who is a game designer, and she's done a lot of research on what it is about people who do games and what kind of characteristics that brings out in people who are constantly playing video games. So I'm just going to play just a quick minute of what she has found, the different characteristics that are brought out through gaming. And so I'm just going to let her talk real quick, and yeah.
So I've started to think about what these games are making us virtuosos at. Here are the 4 things I came up with. The first is urgent optimism. Okay, think of this as extreme self-motivation. Urgent optimism is the desire to act immediately to tackle an obstacle, combined with the belief that we have a reasonable hope of success. Gamers always believe that an epic win is possible and that it's always worth trying, and trying now. Gamers don't sit around. Okay, gamers are virtuosos at weaving a tight social fabric. There's a lot of interesting research that shows that we like people better after we play a game with them, even if they've beaten us badly. And the reason is it takes a lot of trust to play a game with someone. We trust that they will spend their time with us, that they will play by the same rules, value the same goal, they'll stay with the game until it's over. And so playing a game together actually builds up bonds and trust and cooperation, and we actually build stronger social relationships as a result. Blissful productivity. I love it. There's a reason why the average World of Warcraft gamer plays for 22 hours a week, kind of a half-time job. It's because we know when we're playing a game that we're actually happier working hard than we are relaxing or hanging out. We know that we are optimized as human beings to do hard and meaningful work. And gamers are willing to work hard all the time if they're given the right work. Finally, epic meaning. Gamers love to be attached to awe-inspiring missions, to human planetary scale stories. So just one bit of trivia that helps put that into perspective. So you all know Wikipedia.
Okay, so she brought up the 4 different characteristics that she has found through her research in what characteristics are brought out in people who use games. And I reflected on that and saw a lot of commonalities between what was brought up in some of the articles that were discussed about using games in the classroom. And one of the commonalities I found is that, whether it's students playing games or just an average adult playing a game, one thing that people love about gaming is that immediate positive feedback. One thing that that McGonigal brings up in her video, but also is brought up in some of the articles, is that gaming is a very positive environment. And, if you immerse a student in a game environment, it's bound to bring out more positive characteristics in them, such as creativity or focused hard work or, constantly striving to achieve a certain goal. And while a lot of people might feel like grades are the ultimate goal in a classroom, getting an A in the class, for some students that isn't their motivation, and they really aren't fazed very much by getting that grade. I think that's brought up in this article here, that, some students can do very well on a test without doing homework, so why bother doing the homework? Or vice versa. Some kids just don't do well on tests and are accepting the fact that they are going to get a C in the class, and it doesn't really faze them. So what can you do as a teacher to motivate them and engage them in wanting to accomplish the material? And you can use games and different types of a reward system to enhance that and to give them something to work towards. I think there were a couple other characteristics. Yeah, so increased motivation, like I had mentioned, but enhancing problem-solving skills as well, which is something McGonigal also talks about in her video, that, creating an environment where it's task-oriented and game-oriented, where you're kind of competing not only with yourself, but with your classmates, kind of forces the student to delve a little bit deeper into problems and to maybe explore different areas of a topic that maybe they wouldn't have in an essay or, in studying for a multiple choice test. So looking for rewards within that system. So again, I think that there's a lot of positivity that can be, that can enhance a classroom environment through incorporating games and through incorporating through incorporating a reward system like badges, as Dr. Kotlik uses in his class, or as simple as, a sticker chart, and incorporating some type of bonus points throughout a course that students can work towards and keep as something to motivate behind them, other than simply what their grade is at the end of the day in a grade book. So I think it can further enhance student engagement, encourage students to look deeper into the material, and can also drive a lot of teamwork and partnership and collaboration, because students are relying on each other to be able to accomplish the game and achieve their ultimate goals. So those are a couple of my thoughts on gaming in the classroom, and definitely something that I would be interested in working towards and finding ways to incorporate once I'm a teacher. So thanks for listening, and good luck on all of your final projects.